Hello, and welcome once again to Christ Without Borders. Now, I'm here to tell you and talk about a few things. Learn how to balance your masculine and feminine energy. Now, every human being you see out there is comprised of two parts, the masculine and feminine energy. Every human being has that. A lot of times people think a man only has access to a masculine energy, and a woman has access only to a feminine energy. If that was so, it would not be possible for some women to only be operating in a masculine energy. If that was true. So let's us understand that every human being has a masculine and a feminine side. And every woman also has a masculine and a feminine side. If you look into the world, a lot of the things you see in the world is made up of the masculine and the feminine side. You see it even in the human body. Even in the human body, there is a positive side, there's a negative side. If you look at the human circulation, there's a side of a human being that deals with things going into the human body, with the blood systems and the circulatory systems, blood circulation. If you look at that diagram of the blood circulation, you realize that there's a side of the body that deals with the blood going up into the brain, and then and a different part from the brain coming down is where the blood also descends. There's a part where the blood climbs up into the human brain. There's a place there's a place from the head or from the brain where the blood also comes down. So every human being you see is made up of a positive and a negative side. Every human being you see can operate within a higher frequency or a lower frequency, a positive energy or a negative energy. It's in us, and as and when, and as depending on how we are growing and depending on the way we were brought up, sometimes it is set up properly, sometimes it's not working so well. So every human being you see in there, be it a male or a female, has the ability to operate in both sides, in the masculine energy and the feminine energy. Now, if you look out there onto the world, one of the things you see is that a simple example I can use is why have we had the First World War, the Second World War, and even the Third World War is cooking up. It's because we have a lot of people in leadership who are only operating in the masculine side, and are operating their masculine energy. And if some of the few things about the masculine energy it moves a lot with ego. It's very confrontational. It's vengeful. The masculine energy is vengeful. So you get it. So you can see nations go to war because you said this and I won't accept it, or I will show you that I am the number one. I will show you that I am more stronger than you. I will show you that I have more ammunition than you. You get those things. And the masculine energy does not take into account the women, the children, the lives, people's livelihoods that are going to be destroyed. The masculine energy, it doesn't really care so much when it comes to that. And a lot of the things, and when anything is made, when the masculine energy decides to move forward, it never comes back because it sees coming back as loss, failure, weakness. That is a masculine energy. When you look at the feminine energy takes into account a lot of things. it looks at a lot of things, you know. If you're talking about things about healing, forgiveness, giving people the benefit of a doubt, giving people a second chance, you know, a lot of that operates from the feminine energy. A lot of that operates from the feminine energy, you know, and so you see, some people sat down and looked and said, what they needed was a lot of women in leadership, because they felt that if you have a lot of women in leadership positions, then it's going to be better. That is not it. Those guys missed it. We don't need a lot of women we don't need a lot of women in in leadership positions. What we need is for men and women in leadership to be balanced in their energy. Because every man has a masculine side and a feminine side. And every woman has a masculine side and a feminine side. This is what they wanted to see, but it wasn't really clear to them at that time. We don't need more women in leadership positions to solve the problems of the world. What we need is men and women who are balanced in their masculine and feminine energies. Every human being you see there, child, adult, woman, man, old woman, everybody has both sides, the masculine side or the feminine side. Everybody you're seeing there. This is how God has built us. And if you do further reading and research, you get to hear about the left brain and the right brain. If you go deep into that, you understand what I'm talking about. Both sides of the brain handle different things, deal with different kind of things, deal with different kind of decisions, deal with different kind of actions and choices. This is who we are. Now, and we see, if you look there onto the world, you've seen a nation that is willing to send out billions of dollars into another country for people to go and die. Meanwhile, the citizens of that country, the citizens of that nation, who they are responsible for, who they are supposed to take care of, their own citizens are struggling. You have a nation that is willing and prepared. You have a government system, a government structure in a certain nation in the West that is happy. That is happy to send billions of dollars to a different land so that people will die. So that they will prove to a point that I am stronger than you, so that they can show the world that I am still number one. Meanwhile, the people they are accountable for in their own nation are struggling to eat. They are struggling to feed. They are struggling to eat. They are struggling to feed. Everything is going down. Their infrastructure and everything is shutting down. But they don't care. Why? Because it's operating in a masculine energy. The thinking is in a masculine energy. A lot of the people, the thinkers, decision makers, a lot of them are operating in a masculine energy. The feminine side is not there. Because when you're dealing with a feminine, every time that you see any place that the feminine energy is dealing with stuff, a lot of the time there's consideration. The feminine energy is able to look at things on a broad space. You know, if you look at the masculine energy, a lot of the times, the only thing it cares about is the here and now. The masculine energy, if you look at it closely, does not look at things, does not like looking at the big picture. It's only interested in here and now, action, here and now. The masculine energy does not take into account this decision I'm making. What is going to be the result of it after 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years? It doesn't. It cares about now. You insulted me, I'm going to show you. You insulted me, I'm going to show you. And that doesn't care the lives, the property, the livelihoods, the farmlands that are going to be destroyed, the buildings. It does not care. Watch for part 2.